I mentioned this story in my main segment over at youtube.com/Timcast. Check it out if you haven't. But ladies and gentlemen, they got him. A viral video shows two women assaulting a family and stealing a MAGA hat from a 7-year-old boy. They have been arrested. At least two women have. I believe it was two women involved. Let's read the story. And then I want to give you another update because there was a story that didn't really make the unrest portion of my main video. A lot of people may have missed this story, but there were clashes and a Trump supporter was assaulted in California, in somewhere in the LA area, I believe. But let's read the story from WDEL. Interestingly, I could find very few sources covering this story. They say, police make second arrest in theft of MAGA hat outside of Democratic convention in Wilmington. Wilmington police have arrested a 21-year-old woman they said assisted in the theft of a 7-year-old child's MAGA hat outside the Democratic National Convention in Wilmington. Police arrested Cameron Amy on August 22nd, 2020, a day after Olivia M. Winslow was arrested and charged in connection to the same incident, which occurred in the 600 block of Justison Street, and went viral after a video of the exchange was posted on social media. Video circulated on social media by Students for Trump showing two women, alleged by authorities to be Amy and Winslow, tearing up Trump signs and stealing a red Make America Great Again hat, sitting on the ground next to a young boy. The video shows the boy crying and his mother egging the child on to get your hat back. Now, I'll just right away say, if you got crazy ladies stealing your stuff and, stealing stuff from your kid, I'm sorry, man, you're going to have to get that back. I don't like the idea of her telling her kid to go do it. But more importantly, I'm not going to drag her over this. I'm going to drag the two people who literally did it. Okay, you steal from kids. That's creepy. Leave people alone. Stop harassing them. You can see the tweet here from Benny Johnson. He says, moments ago, the DNC, outside of the DNC, Joe Biden supporters attack a 7-year-old boy. He was attacked simply because he wore a Trump hat. His name is Riley. Watch it happen. Listen to him cry. Will Joe condemn this violence against children? Court records obtained by WDEL report the victim telling police Amy forcefully snatched a political sign from her, and while Winslow stole the MAGA hat and handed it to her alleged accomplice. Winslow is also accused of knocking a hat off an adult woman's head. As the victim's 7-year-old son went to retrieve the hat off the ground, Amy allegedly attempted to stomp on the hat, but stomped on the boy's hand, according to statements in court records. Wow. The little boy wasn't hurt, but did begin to cry. Amy was accused of punching a third victim, a man, in the face, resulting in a small laceration to his lip, which caused him substantial pain. The victim told police in court records. Amy then allegedly threw the MAGA hat over a fence and struck the adult woman in the face with a closed fist, which did not result in injury, court records said. Amy is facing the same charges as Winslow: first-degree robbery, second-degree conspiracy, and endangering the welfare of a child, along with an additional 2 counts of offensive touching. She was committed to the Dolores J. Baylor Women's Correctional Institution in lieu of $45,000 secured bond. Bravo! Arrest these people, man. Shut it down. This stuff's not going to stop until these people are held responsible for what they do. I did not know she stomped on the little boy's hand. Wow. They have no shame. They don't. Well, there you go. You can see their faces. I hope it was worth it, you crazy, you lunatics. All right. Now they're going to be in jail. But check this out. Police fire rubber bullets, declare unlawful assembly as Trump protesters face off in Tahunga. They say pro-Trump demonstrators and counter-protesters from Black Lives Matter squared off on the street in Tahunga Friday, leading police to fire rubber bullets, officials said. Everybody's focused on Portland right now. And all these leftists are spreading fake news. They're like, the police won't intervene when the Proud Boys are here in Portland. But as soon as the Proud Boys leave, they come after Antifa. The police have been facing off with Antifa non-stop. You get large groups of people clashing. And what are the police necessarily? What are they supposed to do? So the left is complaining about it, saying that it's unfair. The Proud Boys, I saw a tweet. I can't remember who it was from. It might have been Mike Cernovich, but I don't know. It was Proud Boys are exclusively a threat to Black Lives Matter extremists and Antifa. But Antifa and the Black Lives Matter rioters are a threat to literally everyone. This is why when you see these rallies, the cops have their backs to the Trump supporters. These people don't seem to get it. There's a reason why the cops feel safe turning their back to the Trump supporters, to the Proud Boys, because they're not attacking people. They're defending themselves. Sometimes, however, the right-wing groups do engage Antifa, but it's only Antifa. It's only the far-left extremists. You walk down the street, see a Proud Boy, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to yell Trump 2020 or something. Not the far left. They say police arrived to the area of Foothill Boulevard near Lowell Avenue around 3 p.m. to disperse a large crowd, according to the LAPD. Aerial video from Sky 5 showed several protesters staring each other down and engaging in skirmishes around 5 p.m. As the Trump supporters were demonstrating on the sidewalk, approximately 200 counter-protesters arrived and both groups began to clash with one another. The department said in a news release, at some point during the altercation, a counter-protester struck a Trump supporter with a pipe. While officers were attempting to arrest the person for an assault with a deadly weapon, a second counter-protester began to interfere, police said. Ultimately, both were taken into custody, Bravo police officers. An unlawful assembly was declared and both groups were advised to disperse, according to the department. Protesters then started throwing objects at officers trying to clear the area, which resulted in the use of less lethal munitions. Both groups started to disperse around 6 p.m. A woman who identified herself only as Randy said she helped organize the event from the pro-Trump side. She said a couple of veterans and others who live in the area had been setting up with Blue Lives Matter signs and Trump flags every Friday for several months, and it had remained nonviolent until recently. Once it got a lot of publicity, other supposed Trump groups started claiming it was their event, showing up and starting to fight. We don't know who a lot of these people are. Our goal is to get the egos out of the way. She said the group tried obtaining permits for Friday's event, but had not obtained them. Now, in this story, to be fair, while there was a Trump supporter struck with a pipe, it is very, very different from these two women literally attacking a 7-year-old and stomping on his hand. I'm not going to condone people, showing up and getting into fights, but typically it is the far left that does it. And now we can see that there's, look, among the far left, I think there's no shame. As I mentioned a moment ago, obviously, Trump supporters are not a threat to anybody but the far left. And if the far left leaves them alone, there is no conflict. I've seen it firsthand. They show up to my events. They show up to people's events. I had an event in Philly. They show up. They threaten to burn things down. They will target anyone and everyone. They literally called Daryl Davis at my event one of the most renowned, like literal anti-racist. He de-radicalized over 200 Klansmen. They called him a white supremacist. What worries me is that among the right, okay, so this is not the worrying part. Among the right, you have a very specific group of people that are willing to go out and march. Most people don't do this. And maybe they should just march peacefully. But most people don't engage in this level of conflict. Among the left, they all do it. Okay, not all of them. But it's like I was saying in many other segments, inverse proportionality. Of 100% of the right wing, about 20% will actually go out, march, and a smaller faction will actually start fights. Among the left, 80% will go out starting fights if they happen upon it, and that's about it. Not all of them will riot, but many of them will go out and protest. Of the ones that do, they're all willing to engage in some kind of mob violence, or at the very least, protect those who would. Like we have seen in Portland now, 87 days, I guess. I don't even know. I lost track of the days. But that's what they do. You see, when it comes to the story of this little boy, these two women are not Antifa. They were just there for Biden. They're just insane. It is all of the left. Okay, let me walk that back. I tried to avoid getting too far into it, like going too, exaggerating too much. No, the propensity for violence, the potential for violence exists within almost all of these people. These are not Antifa. They were just at the DNC and they decided to attack a 7-year-old boy. You go to a Trump rally, they're not going to attack anybody. Now, there's a small group that might go out and start fights. Like we saw with the Proud Boys in New York City. They were putting on an event. Gavin McInnes, the founder, was speaking. Antifa showed up. Some of these dudes ran to attack Antifa. Now, to be fair, about a block away, Antifa beat and robbed a Proud Boy. The point is, there are very few people on the right willing to even go out and protest, let alone speak up. Why? Well, they have families, they have jobs, they don't have the time, or they don't want to risk losing their jobs. And of the people that do, they're still not a threat to anybody. They try to conflate the worst extremists who go out with guns committing atrocities with regular right-wing individuals. I'm sorry, it's just not the case. When you have two women, for no reason, just attacking a 7-year-old. I mean, this has got to suggest to you that there's something wrong with whatever the left is. I don't think the left. I think there's been a big shift. And I think what we're really seeing is that those who are more violent, who are unhinged and emotionally unstable are attracted to the left because they're not looking for anything to make sense and they don't want solutions. They just want the chaos. They want the violence and they want others to suffer. That's what we end up seeing. So then you get someone like me, many other former liberal or disaffected liberals, and we say, no way. I'm not gonna support these people. That's nuts. Because all they want is destruction, and there's no logic, there's no solutions behind what they do. At least I can say of the Republicans, they have principles. Not all the politicians. I don't like the politicians. The voters, I mean. At least they have an idea about what they want to do and why they want to do it. The left? Nah, they just want to beat little kids, I guess. I'll leave it there. I got a couple more segments coming up for you in a few minutes. Stick around, and I will see you all shortly.